Hello and welcome to Sestra-Tainment.
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today to talk about everything entertainment.
Everything.
So I'm going to go first this week. And, this might seem a little late to some people, but I'm going to talk about the slap heard around the world. And, the interesting thing is I almost feel like I was a little bit like Chris Rock, when they said that he was saying he was processing it. Basically, I don't know if somebody would have to be under a rock to not know about this, but basically the Oscars took place. Will Smith went on the stage and slapped Chris Rock for telling a joke about his wife. It wasn't a scripted joke. He said that he did it off the cuff, and basically it
backfired.
It was heard around the world. So basically, I personally think that, hey, it was a joke that happened. He's sitting there. He's kind of laughing. Yeah. Realizes his wife is upset about it and, not laughing. And when he saw her reaction, he kind of overreacted. It's almost like, I don't know, I think that they've been in the news so much, entanglements and what she's done and what how he is and all of that stuff, that I think when he, realized, wait, she's rolling her eyes, she's not that happy. I don't know what her last reaction was, because we have no
they didn't show that
showing of what she did, or if she was like, you better take care of this. She could have pointed him up there. I don't know. But I did hear when you sent me that thing on the comedian who was like, look, most women would just be like, boo, like, sit down. Like, come on, this is not the place at the time. But she obviously
was just
didn't.
Like, I don't care. Just do your thing.
She was laughing and didn't seem shocked at all by it when it happened. So, but anyway, I just think that he kind of made up for that, like him laughing. So it's kind of like, ha ha ha. Oh, shoot, she's mad. Okay, what do I do? Okay, let me just go up here. And I don't even know if he thought through it. I don't know if it was a conscious decision or if it was just, you just got pissed all of a sudden out of the blue, saw red, and decided that you were just going to go take an action.
We're going to have to pray for Will like we pray for Kanye.
Oh, my gosh.
So
it's
that's
just
what's
a
happen.
Weird thing. But I also just wonder if, I don't know. I'm not defending Will by any stretch of the imagination. Like I told somebody else, all of them got more money than me. These are millionaire problems. You know what I mean? So was it assault? Yes. I feel like it was inappropriate. It was extremely over the top in regards to a reaction to a joke.
Chris Rock could press charges.
He could have pressed charges. Will could have left that in handcuffs and never gotten his Oscar.
Yeah, exactly.
And been able to even speak to it. It was almost like he zoned out and didn't even remember where he was. It was just a really strange scenario. Now, I don't know about everybody's, situation, what's going on. I know their marriage has had some issues, but I do feel like they have an open marriage. So therefore, I feel like they kind of talk about it that way a little bit. So,
see, I don't know if it's open for both ends open or if it's just kind of
I'm pretty sure it's open. Yeah, I mean, they basically, when they did their Red Table Talk, it almost kind of sounded as
I never
though
watched
they
that.
both, okay. Yeah, they both have, had their fun. Let's just say it that way. And so based on that, I don't know. I just feel like, he reacted in a horrible way. It was unacceptable. Definitely lucky that Chris Rock didn't press charges at all.
Or that Chris Rock didn't smack him back.
I know, because it could have been a true brawl.
Yeah,
right
it could have been like the backstage of the Source Awards. You know what I'm saying? It could have been that bad.
It could have definitely been ugly. And, I feel like, Chris Rock wasn't necessarily appropriate in making a joke about somebody with a bald head, whether they chose to bald their head or not. Typically, in Jada's case, she didn't want to necessarily bald her head. She just said her hair was coming out in clumps. So she, balded her head. So therefore, it's almost like, I don't know. It just feels like if you have men who are doing everything in their power to hold on to all their hair, try to cover bald spots, use sprays, use creams, get hair plugs, all of this for their hair, you can imagine how sensitive and important hair is for women. I mean, the time that those women took to sit on that Oscar stage or, to be on the show, how many hours of just on their hair were they getting worked on? You know what I mean? Just true, because people just care about it so much. So of all things to joke about, and especially now knowing since I think he said that he didn't realize that she had a condition, but now knowing that she has a condition, alopecia, which actually makes your hair come out and you end up being bald, basically. Just knowing about that, it almost seems like it's something that's out of her control to joke on. Just doesn't quite seem appropriate either.
I saw somebody called her out on social media.
What do you mean?
Somebody was like, how you going to have alopecia, but you have a line that you're saying that your hair is coming out in a line when your hair comes out in patches, and it's not a straight line.
Right. But I think that what it is that your hair comes out, like it starts falling out. I get that part. Yeah. But then I also think that some areas of your hair, from what I understand of it, which, I'm not saying I'm an expert, but from what I understand, is some parts of your scalp are going to have hair, and then other parts of your scalp are going to be completely bald. Yeah. And so therefore, I don't know. I just
they were saying like in her video, like how she said, like, I got this spot right here. Right,
but I think
it was like a straight line across there. It looked like she actually got cut.
Yeah.
So that's why it was somebody on social media just calling her out about that.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know either. I don't know if she got it or not. I really don't care.
I don't know. I know that, and I had watched a few episodes of Red Table Talk, and I have heard her speak about it. And she was wearing turbans at one point because she, and she mainly made it sound like her hair was just very fine and wispy, thin, almost very thin. And so therefore, that's why she was wearing wigs and the braids and all these things, which of course puts more tension on your hair.
Yeah, but say that
your hair get even more thin and all of that. So I don't know enough about it to be an expert. I just feel like for me personally, whether or not she has some full-blown case of alopecia or just a little bit or whatever the case may be,
it just bothers
her having a bald head shouldn't necessarily be a topic of conversation in regards to what you're going to say on a stage and on the Oscars in front of a bunch of people. I know he's a comedian.
Yeah, but I think it's the comedian in him. You know what I'm saying? And it might have been him just be like, oh, my people sitting up here. Let me joke on them.
Right. And
then it was like, oh, wait. So we really not that close, because I thought, that we were close enough for me to like joke around with y'all. But now we're not.
It's almost like, for me personally, and, number one, I don't laugh at comedians. That's first. Yeah. I've already talked about this.
And Chris
before.
Rock is kind of.
I mean, he's okay, but
he's okay.
I don't get most comedy. I'll just put it that way. Yeah. But it's fine. To each its own. So for me personally, I'm just like joking on alopecia or somebody's bald head is almost like, would you joke on somebody who just couldn't control the fact that they had,
But then that's the difference is that did he know or did he not know?
I know, and that's where I was saying this.
Because if she just cut her head off, me thinking...
Cut
her hair off. Me thinking, like, what he said is like, oh, G.I. Jane 2 is going to come out. I'm thinking, G.I. Jane 2, that would be a good movie, right?
That's what people were thinking, though.
Like, Demi Moore killed it.
Was going to be doing another movie, and she wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, she's not doing it.
But, the whole thing was, like, the joke was not, oh, you look like a, chicken head because you bald head scallywag. No, it wasn't that.
No, it wasn't that.
It was just talking about a movie. Yeah. And I feel like it wasn't how vicious most comedians can be.
It was not as vicious, and it was a true overreaction. Yeah. And I do feel like, and I kind of thought of it from a perspective of, okay, if Will is at home and he's hearing Jada, right? And she's like, depressed because she's losing her hair. A lot of women, their hair is their crown,
that's true. That's true, yeah.
So therefore she's home, she's depressed, she's sad, she's, seeing clumps of hair. He might be seeing it in the shower, in the sink or whatever, who knows. So anyway, knowing all these things that she's gone through, the emotional distress that she may have gone through, and then knowing, I just laughed at this guy making a joke about my wife. Like, I shouldn't have laughed at that, and that's why he overreacted.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
it's like, I know her pain. Yeah. I know her struggle. I know what she's been going through. I'm looking in her eyes right now, and I can see that she's hurt by what was said.
Yeah, but there's a time and a place for everything.
It is, absolutely.
And you should never put your hands on anybody.
Absolutely. Yep. All of that.
If you ain't about that life, don't be like that. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I said, for me personally.
See, isn't that how he got in trouble in West Philadelphia where he was born and raised?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's why he got sent to live with Uncle Phil.
Yeah. So now where you going to go now?
He is in his beautiful multi-million-dollar mansion right now, I am sure. So that's why I said these are rich people problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in regards to...
Yeah, rich people can do stuff that regular people can't do. I can't walk up to somebody like smack him in the face and get away with it. Right. No, I'm
well,
getting arrested.
I guess it depends on if that person files charges.
Yeah, it depends on if that person is down or if that person just like, oh, how dare you? Like,
but I do feel like, you know, I guess I just feel like, you know, people are like, is he going to lose his Oscar? You know, all of that. Honestly, I personally don't care one way or the other, but I don't care. But I also feel like it shouldn't happen if it hasn't happened for others. If it hasn't happened for Harvey Weinstein and how he has treated women over years, like decades.
Yeah.
And he didn't lose his Oscars. If Roman Polanski, statutory rape, didn't lose his. Exactly. Woody Allen, even, and a lot of people are very torn on Woody Allen, you know, in regards to, well, you know, and it was his adopted daughter, you know what I mean?
So, that's still his kid, though.
Yeah, and Kevin Spacey, like all these people still have their Oscars. Who have done egregious things as well in different ways.
But I think it's because it did not happen at the
Oscars. That's the thing.
That we know of.
There's a level of decorum.
Allegedly it never happened. Because we don't know how many times Kevin Spacey walked up to a dude and like cradled his stuff at the Oscars.
We don't know what
Harvey Weinstein doing at the Oscars in the backstage.
Hey, I'll get you into the Oscars if you do X, Y, and Z.
If you just
you don't know. You're absolutely right.
Nobody knows.
But it wasn't seen.
It was not seen. Yes, it was not seen, and across the world, like everybody is watching this. Right. Like, Will, what are you thinking, bro? Like,
right, and were you thinking? But you know, and then even his acceptance speech of his Oscar, it didn't go into, you know. I mean, he apologized to a degree. There were tears, things of that nature. But, like, his PR person...
I'm tired of seeing him cry, actually.
His PR person, if nothing else, should have, you know... I don't know. I just feel like it could have been...
His PR person probably quit.
A different way. If he truly reacted because he knows the pain of his wife... and what she struggled with and what she's been going through and her finally feeling confident enough to show up at these Oscars with her bald head for the first time, being there, you know, and if he was just like, you know what, that's what I need to say. Like, I'm going to be a fierce defender of my wife because of the fact that I've seen what she's gone through. I know her pain. I know the pain that some of you other women might be going through, or men even going through in regards to hair loss and things of that nature. And, you know, if you explain it in such a way that maybe helps people to understand, it's still wrong. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I snapped. I made a harsh judgment. I did a crazy thing. Didn't mean to. Totally apologize to everybody, including you, Chris Rock. And
but you didn't do none of that.
No, it's none of that. It's none of that. So I don't know how his career is going to come back from this. If it will come back.
Well, apparently a lot of people said that it was like Chris Rock gets on a lot of celebrities' nerves.
Yeah, because a lot of people say Chris Rock had it coming. Like eventually, somebody's
they
gonna
said
slap
like
him
Samuel
anyway.
Jackson apparently walked up to Will Smith and dapped him up and was like looking at him like, "Yeah, you hit him before I did."
Oh my gosh,
he had this look on him, like his smiling and everything, daps him up, gives him a hug, and was kind of like, you know.
Oh my gosh,
but then it's also like, bro, like, are you just doing that just because you know you've already saw Tyler Perry and Denzel talk to him?
But you know, I think it's this. I think it's like. You of the two, I am thinking people in Hollywood might feel one way about one and one way about the other. Like the people who know them, the people who have engaged with them, the people who have talked to them and whatever. You know, that maybe the people who have approached Will, was talking to Will, they didn't go to Chris. So it's like, is there something we don't know about as lay people, just commoners here without being, multimillionaire actors? It's just a terrible scenario. And personally, of the two, I actually have followed Will more, I guess, again, because I'm not big into comedians. So I've watched some Chris Rock specials, things like that. He does say the things, that he has said some things that are funny, and I'm sure some people think he's extremely funny. Yeah. And for me, like, I had followed, Will's Snapchats and his TikToks and his Facebook page and, stuff like that, more than Jada, just like seeing who he was as a person, and I don't know what's real, what's fake, what's whatever. But at the same time, even though I feel like, he did a terrible thing, I know people have a very short memory. a very short memory.
Oh, of
so
course,
what I'm saying is like, so
what are you talking about? Yeah, COVID's gone because Ukraine got invaded. You didn't know that?
Right. It's just like everything just is so cyclical that I know he had projects that were underway, Bad Boys and all this stuff, and it got on hold. But I think the studios know that too. It's like, okay, he's a beloved person, typically for most.
Yeah.
A lot of people like him.
Yeah.
So therefore, let's let this die over, and then let's get our projects back going. He's gonna have to do an Oprah special or something like that.
Oh
and,
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
He's gonna have to talk to Oprah.
He's gonna cry on that too.
And he might cry on that too, and he's gonna.
Tyler Perry and Denzel are gonna be on there and be like, she's gonna be, so what did you say to them? I already see it.
Who knows? Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to take a little time to talk about that slap heard around the world with the Oscars, and it's just an unfortunate situation.
I wish it was staged.
It sounds like. Yeah, but even if it was staged, it would have just been totally inappropriate.
But I mean, the only reason I wish it was staged is because like there's no reason for anybody to act like that in public.
Right, yeah.
Or in private. They act like that,
Yeah, if they'd act like that at the Oscar party afterwards, then that wouldn't have been that big of a deal.
Yeah, but you're going to do it while you have all these people watching TV.
And you're up for an award. For the best actor. Yeah, up for the best actor. And I mean, okay, I know that you played King Richard, and he was a tough dude, and he was a fierce defender of his family. So, but it's like, did the actor take over? I mean, did the character take over the actor in that moment?
Did he have a Denzel moment, like Training Day? Is that what happened?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. But anyway, so we'll see how it all works out. He'll probably be, going through, I mean, I'm sure they'll talk about going through some therapies and things like that. But for the most part, I think he'll act again. He'll continue to make his millions. He may not make as many millions as he has made, but I think that he'll be fine. He'll be all right. So, and I think that Chris Rock, he's selling tickets left and right. Everybody wants to go to his shows to see if he's going to talk about it. So he's not hurting, not hurting in regards to financially.
Chris Rock said, I had a whole, there was a video of him, and he was like, I know y'all want to talk about the Oscars, but he said, but I already had this show already written out. I did not expect that to happen. So I'm going to do this show that I already have written out.
Right, exactly. He can't start off with a whole new show. He had already had a script. I think people don't realize that that's what a lot of comedians do.
Because a lot of comedians can't go off the cuff. They can't do that.
Obviously he shouldn't have at the Oscars, but I digress.
Very, very true.
Yeah, so, but that's one of the things that, they definitely have it. They've worked it. They've, they talk about how Jay Leno will just go to the Laugh Factory and just do different types of skits and, just different kinds of comics. Yeah, just to see how what lands and what doesn't. And then they create their show. So, that definitely
But I know
makes sense.
Chris Rock's brother went off on on his stand-up thing. He was at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
And he was just like, what? He smacked the wrong brother. Blah, 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 blah. No, he said he smacked the right brother because I would have, blah, blah, blah. And that's like, gosh. But then, you know what? Tony Rock would probably have been like standing there like, I know you didn't.
But so long story short of my long take, because I feel like I took too long on this one.
No, I'm with it. This was a good one.
It's basically, was it assault? Yes. Was it wrong? Yes.
Was it funny? Yes.
It was not funny.
I thought it was funny. Because I was like, oh, did that just happen? It was kind of like a surprise funny. Like, wait, is that real?
Is that, I think everybody was wondering, is this real?
That kind of funny. Not like that's hilarious that like Chris Rock just got smacked. No, it's like wait. Was that staged?
Yeah,
was that real?
Or not?
And then it's like,
not until he sat down and started going off. Yeah, and then they were like, no, this ain't real. Yeah. And poor Lupita, she's just sitting there and her eyes are just like, what is happening? So I don't know. But anyway, he's not gonna probably lose his Oscar, is what I'm gathering from everything, the research in regards to the Academy. He is now banned for 10 years from attending a ceremony, whether virtually or in person.
10 years goes by fast.
Yeah, 10 years can go by fast. I mean, just think of when 2012 was. Like, it doesn't feel like it
that's
was that
what
long
I'm saying.
ago. Yeah, exactly. And plus, you're not always invited to the Oscars if you don't have anything Oscar worthy.
That's true.
So therefore,
he might not have anything for 5 years, and then have something, and then he probably is going to be like in a supporting role. or something.
And he can still be nominated, could still win. Although I'm sure the Academy wouldn't give him the Oscar, honestly, anytime soon. Not to say
he can still win, but he just cannot be there to get it.
Correct. He
Or
can
be
still
virtual,
win.
right? He can't do virtual either.
No, he can't do
It's
virtual.
going to be like somebody's going to have to accept
I'll
the
accept
award.
this on your behalf kind of thing. So, yeah. But anyway, all right, enough about that topic. What do you have?
Wait. First of all, that would be the best thing is that if he is nominated and he can't be there, Chris Rock has to be like, I'm going to accept this award on Will Smith's behalf. That would be so funny.
It would.
Oh God, I just think that would be funny. Sorry,
oh my
that was my little moment.
Really cracked yourself
I
up on
know
that one.
I was just thinking about it. Like, it would be fun. It would be funny.
It'd be a little, it'd be funny.
He got to go to Chris Rock house to pick it up. Like, how does that work? Do they
you
mail
gotta
it
come
to
to
you?
me because I ain't
Yeah,
coming
I'm
to
bringing
you.
to you.
Yeah, my people will have to get it to your people so that we don't have to be around each other. Right?
It's in the mail.
Exactly.
Hit him with it. It's in the mail, and it's just sitting on your mantle the whole time.
I know, right?
Exactly. With Will Smith's name on it. Okay,
all right, your turn.
All right, my turn. All right, so I'm going to talk about Netflix movie.
Okay.
Called Bubble.
Bubble. Never heard of it.
Okay, so it just came out last week.
Okay.
It was like number 3 when it came out.
Okay.
Already at number 10. This movie is not the best. Okay, so just imagine like Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
So you know how Don't Look Up had the all-star cast. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody was in that movie. You had Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep.
Right.
You got
Jennifer
Lawrence. You have what's her name? Kate.
Jonah Hill.
Kate. What's her name? Kate Blanchett. Dude, everybody's in that movie.
Yeah.
So now just take that movie and then just make it produced by SNL.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a smaller scale. These celebrities are not like.
They're not A-list celebrities.
Yeah, yeah.
More like
but like you know them, but you know them though.
Okay.
You know, yeah, it's like Fred Armisen.
Oh, yeah, I like Fred.
Yeah, Fred Armisen. Yeah. Keegan
Thompson?
No, Keegan Michael Key.
Oh, Keegan Michael Key. Yeah.
Know him. Pedro Pascal.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah, so you know these people. They even got Kate McKinnon. What's her name? Leslie Mann, who is married to Judd Apatow.
Uh-huh.
And then their daughter, Iris Apatow, was in the movie. So, I mean, it's got good people in the movie.
It's got some good people. Okay,
and just, you know, it's a Judd Apatow movie.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like an A- list. I'm not going to say a B. I'm going to say an A- because these people are really, like, are still good. So, the movie's called Bubble. Because of the fact there's a group of actors that are all put together in a bubble in an attempt to make a movie. Now, this movie is a space sci-fi movie with dinosaurs. Don't ask questions, just go with it, okay? Okay, so...
Dinosaurs in space.
Dinosaurs, I think it's space. Maybe it's not space. It just looks, it's very rocky. It's like a lot of stuff. It kind of looks... Maybe it's not in space. Maybe it's just some deserted area. I don't think it's a planet Earth, though. Just putting it out there. So, with them making this movie and them having to be in the bubble, when everybody gets there, they're like, okay, so how does this bubble work? And then it's like, oh yeah, we're going to put you in a room by yourself for 2 weeks. And we're just going to have people bringing your stuff. And then we're going to, once everybody's cleared, you know, it's going to be a safe bubble, and then we're going to go ahead and start making the film.
So it's like a COVID bubble.
Yeah, it's a COVID bubble. Okay. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a COVID bubble.
Okay,
thing.
gotcha.
The only thing is that they did not think about all these celebrities want coffee. Who's going to get the coffee? Oh, they have one person go and get coffee for the entire crew.
Oh, okay.
That one person is touching 80 cups of coffee. But she's going out, being brave, and going out into this COVID-infested world. And she is getting their coffee. She is getting their coffee.
Okay, got it.
But now she has COVID, so now all these people who are just out of the bubble, they just started filming. Film's going good. Then it's like, hey guys, just let you know, we got to shut down. Everybody's going to have to be in their room for 2 weeks. People are freaking out because
like
the first
2 weeks.
Because the first 2 weeks, it was like one girl, like she's FaceTiming her boyfriend, and he is staying at her house with his kids, and he ends up having his new girlfriend come and stay at the house while she's away, you know, recording. This one guy, he is like he's a very horny man. So every time that he's on a movie set, he always tries to like sleep with like, you know, like somebody who's there. And now he can't. So now he's like freaking out, and like he's starting to like, it's really like he's having anxiety attacks and stuff like that. Like that's an issue. I mean, like, there are so many people that are freaking out just because of the fact that they're going to have to be in this another 2-week bubble.
Yeah, and what else is going to unfold in my life?
So one of the guys whose name is, I don't know if you know him, Gus Kahn. He's a comedian.
That's the name.
All right, he's a comedian. He's like a really funny comedian. He reminds me. He reminds me of one of my boys, Richard Dane. It's so funny, but they kind of look alike. Okay. But the thing is that he's just like, wait, so you trying to tell me my weed man can't come?
Oh gosh.
My weed man can't come because I'm going to be in another bubble for like 2 more weeks. And they were just like, yeah, I'm sorry, your weed man can't come. So now he runs and he's just like, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. So now he's leaving production because his weed man can't come there. He's been trapped into like a hotel room, which apparently this hotel, how are you in a bubble in a hotel, but there's other people in the hotel that are in a bubble? So there's a soccer team that's also in a bubble in the hotel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so everybody's like on their own floors or doing their own things, right? Like
no, everybody's still around each other. Like the soccer team and the production company are still together. They still see each other.
Oh, I don't know them.
Then yeah, where's the bubble?
I don't know.
There's no bubble. Anyway, so excuse me. It just ends up being a lot. So it's a good cast, not a great film.
Okay.
The cast has David Duchovny in it. You got Mulder in there.
Mulder.
Who else is in there that you would know? There's a guy. His name is Peter Serafinowicz. And a lot of people know him. He's been on some of Adam Sandler's movies. He has like a really, really calm voice, and then he like. How do I explain him? I don't know. But he always plays like somebody. He plays this guy named Gavin on the show. But I mean, like, once you see him, then you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I know that guy. It's that guy that was in that movie from that thing. Have you ever seen that guy?
That dude.
Yeah. Like, yeah. He was in Spy, Guardians of the Galaxy, Shaun of the Dead, John Wick. Like, he's been in movies.
Yeah, he's been in
but
movies,
he's that guy that's in that movie.
Yeah, that nobody knows the
name.
That
nobody knows
Which
his
is
name.
the best kind of famous person to be.
Didn't that how Samuel L. Jackson started?
Yeah, he pretty much was.
And now he's in every movie ever. Yeah. He probably you know what, he probably had a cameo in this movie. I just didn't see him, but he probably did.
Yeah,
you know?
He's the hardest working man in Hollywood. I think they said he finally outbeat Harrison Ford in the most movies. I think it was him and Harrison Ford of all people, which I wouldn't have thought of. But I do remember. He was in a lot of movies.
Yeah, I remember Harrison Ford was like the top actor.
Yeah. But
it was like it was the Pretty Woman cast was the top actors for the 90s.
Pretty Woman,
like the Pretty Woman cast. Him, no, I'm sorry, not him.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Him and what's her name? Julia Roberts.
Oh,
they were in everything.
Yeah, but
Julia Roberts had like 17 movies. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I was trying to think of what her name was. Julia Roberts.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
They were the top
movies. She was in a lot of stuff too. Yeah. She
was in everything for like, I swear, it was like 20 years. She was in every single thing.
Mystic
and then,
Pizza.
Where is she now? I don't know where she's at now.
She was doing that TV show. Remember the one? What was the name of that one that was on? Was it Netflix or Amazon or whatever? And it was about the military people and them having to eat
yeah. Homecoming. Yeah, that was on Prime. That was on Prime. Yeah. She was on that, but that was short lived. It was only for a season.
They did another season.
Yeah, but she. Yeah.
But anyway, all right. So
okay. But anyway, everybody's in this movie. It's a really good movie.
Is it?
To an extent.
Okay.
To an extent. It's a good movie because of the fact that it's making fun of how the bubble is set up when it comes to film productions.
Got it.
And why so much money is being lost when they're making films because of how they are setting up all this stuff. Yeah, so it's just like it's the parody, kind of like how Don't Look Up is the parody of
Washington and government and the world.
The United States,
like for people who are on sets and watching movies and participating in movies and being on set, they're going to watch it and be like, that makes sense. That's something I've had. Where it gives you insight as a layperson who never saw it.
But I mean, for the most part, I mean, it's a cute movie.
All right, something to maybe watch.
Yeah, something. I mean, like, hey, you want sound in the background? You want to look at something, giggle a little bit? Put it on. Put it on.
All right.
So yeah, go ahead and check that out. Bubble on Netflix. It is number 10. It might be, off of the list by now. I don't know because it's moving slowly down. Well, I'm not gonna say slowly. It's moving pretty fast. Bridgerton, I think, is still somewhere on there or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But all right, what you got next?
Okay, so I have The Thing About Pam.
Oh.
Pam Hupp. So it is a TV show on NBC. And it's a real life show. It's kind of weird because it's about a real life person with a real life scenario where a real person dies. But it's on NBC almost as a dramedy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of strange to know somebody died and how their family might feel about watching this show.
Yeah, but then you're still making fun of it.
Well, it's like, and it's not even like making fun of the murder.
It's making fun of her, right?
It's making fun of the husband. They just make him look like he's a complete idiot. And I don't know if that is true about the husband or not. But still, it's like, you know, and everybody was making like little comments about, oh yeah, he was crying so much and, you know, whatever when he came in and found her. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me go ahead and talk about it. So it's about Pam Hupp, and she is a woman who her best friend found out she had cancer. Mm-hmm. And so she kind of took on the role of being like, a person who would take her to her doctor's appointments and, you know, sometimes drive her home or, you know, just do different things for her, and they were friendly. So the situation is that her friend, whose name was Betsy Faria, sorry, I can't get it out, Faria, she was at her parents' house, like at her mom's house, just hanging out with her kids. She was trying to kind of isolate herself from some folks just because of her cancer and her chemo. She needed to keep herself healthy. Yeah. So her kids were staying with her mom. She was staying with her husband at the house. And Pam would kind of come around from time to time, probably only met her husband like 3-4 times. So anyway, what happened is, and this happened in 2011, true story that they're reenacting on this show, is that Pam, who's like a real estate, like house flipper kind of thing, she is like one of those people who like always needs to be the center of attention and always needs to feel like she's in control and manipulating the situation. Okay. So have you ever known a person like when...
Yes. Sorry.
When, like, for example, there was a situation where she said, oh, yeah, we were talking and I ended up having a stethoscope, and I was listening to her heart and helping her do something. And I said, oh my gosh, Betsy, you have cancer. Like she found the cancer before this person even got to
she has to be the best at everything.
Yeah, and like, oh no, Betsy, I'll drive you home. Like I'll take you. And she's like, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna stay here with my mom and the kids. No, you really should get home. You really should get your rest. So it's like you barred yourself and impose yourself and your opinions on everybody around you to the point that they feel bullied. You know, and
it's a lot,
that's the thing that Pam does to everybody. So they have this scenario where she ended up taking her friend home, Betsy, and you could tell something was going on because she was like, oh, well, let's call my husband while we're in your driveway. Hey, here, talk to him. Or, we can't catch him, leave him a message. She's trying to, like, build an alibi, basically.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And so... supposedly, Betsy goes into the house. Betsy's husband comes home and finds her stabbed 50 times.
So the lady didn't even die of cancer. She died of being stabbed to death.
50 stab wounds, 50 plus. So the thing
that seems so tiresome to stab somebody 50 times.
I don't know. It's extremely excessive. So So what happens, and I'm talking from the perspective of the show, which is take on what happened in real life. Betsy truly was stabbed in real life. Her husband comes home. There's no blood anywhere from her being stabbed that many times, first of all. They say in the court case that's showing on the TV show that her husband's slippers had blood on them, but they had blood on the top of them like somebody dipped the slippers in blood as opposed to the bottom or where you would track it around the house.
Around with it,
he was at a video game / game night kind of thing with his friends that they do occasionally, so he was nowhere to be found, and actually had stopped by a drive-thru and gotten a receipt for some food at the time that the murders happened, all of this. Well,
so much.
She set it all up to say, oh, yeah, well, you know, her husband, like, he is a terrible person, and they used to argue all the time, and he said he was going to put a pillow over her head, and yada, yada, yada. So, of course, husband is going to be the first suspect.
Of course, yeah.
So she kind of just used that and knowledge and basically pushed all the evidence into that direction to the point that the man got convicted. So, so he ended up being convicted. He's in prison. And the whole time we know that Pam did it.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at this and you're like, oh my gosh, like justice does not get served when you have somebody who's manipulating people and saying, but didn't your dad do this? Or didn't this happen? Or didn't things go this way? But she was very like controlling and I mean, truly a bully, like to the point that if she wanted something, she would get in your face. And for her neighbor, like her neighbor was like, oh, did you know Dateline was here? Somebody from Dateline, because, they did actually cover it back then. And I should have started with this part. Pam Hupp is played by Renee Zellweger on the TV show. I totally forgot that. So she's doing an amazing job of transforming into this person, which did cause some controversy because she's not a heavier person, but she had to put on a fat suit
in order to
do the show to look like Pam Hupp in real life. So anyway, but her neighbor was like, oh yeah, Dateline's here. She said, oh, so what are they here for? She was like, I don't know. They were coming around and wanted to talk to you and stuff. And she was like, oh, so you're one of those neighbors that just doesn't know how to keep their mouth shut.
Oh, wow.
Like, okay, that's good to know. And they were like, oh, I thought you wanted to be on TV. No, I don't need to be on TV. And the neighbor's like, okay, well, let me go back to my house. Okay, you do that. I'm going to go feed the squirrels, such and such and such. Like, she named her squirrels, all that. Guess what? Squirrels end up dead.
She killed squirrels, too?
In a box. In a shoebox. In her driveway. And then she just, everything that she does.
She's a serial killer.
She's a narcissist serial killer who just does horrible things to all those people around her. She overwhelms her poor son to the point that he can't even...
This is a TV show?
Yeah, she could care less about her daughter. Her daughter was before she married her husband. So her mom disowns her daughter. She basically is like giving away her daughter's baby shoes to a shoe drive.
It's like the Tammy Faye thing all over again.
Exactly. And then here she is, and like the lady was like, oh, these are your daughter's shoes? You shouldn't want to give these away. She was like, I still have my son's. Like, I don't care. It's all good. And it's like nobody can do well enough, all of that kind of stuff. And so, but she's just this mean, evil, terrible person who pretends to be nice, all hugging on poor Betsy's mom, telling her what she can do for her. Oh, well, he used to do this and her husband used to do that. And you might not have known that she shared with me this. And then it comes out that literally right before poor Betsy died, like 3 or 4 days before Betsy died, Betsy supposedly signed over her life support to Pam.
What? No.
$150,000 that was supposed to be in trust for the kids. Yeah, of life insurance.
No.
For her children. When her children asked for the money, she didn't give them anything. She was trying to get plastic surgery because her mom even said, "Oh, I guess you came into the money for that plastic surgery now." And it's like, it's a horrible situation.
Yeah, it's a horrible
story and woman, and she just is like, her mentality is, I'm the smartest person in the room. I'm going to manipulate the lawyers. I'm going to manipulate the police officers. I'm going to manipulate this family. I'm going to tell the officer, I just wish blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, I could do that for you. And then she's like, I got him, and then finally, as different things have transpired and they realize, wait, you were supposed to open a trust for the kids and you kept the $150,000. Like, what happened to that money? Like, you need to give the money to the kids if you want people to not think you did this.
Yeah,
because that was part of the defense, was that he wasn't anywhere around. The only person that was the last person to see her was Pam Hupp, and nobody was trying to put their finger on Pam. And oh, by the way, the lawyer and the judge went to high school together in the small town, so therefore they kind of just had this little, it was just, it just felt very.
Where's the show going to go though?
Well, it's just going to tell to the truth of what happened.
So it's like a mini series?
It's just like a 8-part show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just
that's
about
what I'm saying, like a mini series.
So,
like a mini series.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I don't think that it's necessarily. It's like got Keith Morrison's voice.
Oh, I love
it. So Keith Morrison,
or is it?
Yes, he's amazing. So he's the one, and he's doing all his normal Dateline, talking, and so it's just basically about this story.
I definitely want to watch the show just because Keith Morrison's on it.
Yeah, I mean, he's not on it.
It's his voice. Yeah, his voice is his money.
It's iconic. It's iconic. iconic. Yeah, at one point, my Waze app for driving directions, they offered Keith Morrison's voice, and I had that on there, and they were like, turn left.
Oh my God.
Like, oh my gosh.
Do you turn left or are you
right.
taking a right?
No, it was
We're going
amazing,
to
but it
find
only
out.
lasted for like a month or two, and then it was
Oh
gone.
man,
So
that's probably they
upset.
won't pay them enough. Bring that back.
I don't know.
Bring
but
back
it
the
was
Keith
awesome.
Morrison. Can I get my Siri to be Keith Morrison?
I don't know. That would be
That
nice,
would be
He'd
amazing.
probably have to record a whole lot of words to be a part of.
Yeah,
Siri,
no.
So. But anyway, that's what I wanted to share.
Yeah.
Just the thing about Pam, it's about a evil, diabolical, horrible woman who tortures and imposes herself on everybody around her, and again, just a narcissist who thinks she's the smartest person in the room. And as things start getting closer and closer and closer to her, it's like she just starts getting crazier and crazier and crazier. So now you don't know a few things. You don't know if she killed her mom. You don't know if she killed we pretty much know she killed Betsy. We've seen what happened with the squirrel, right? It's like all these things that she's doing, and it's just horrible. So anyway, if you want to watch something that is entertaining in regards to seeing Renee Zellweger transform into this character.
She doesn't look like the same person.
She does not, and she... this lady drinks big gulps like nobody's business, and she just grabs onto that big gulp and is sucking it up, and she's just a stomping woman, like just stomp walks, and then all of a sudden, but I have a back injury, now I have to limp. So then she'll just start limping out of the blue because she talked about it. It's just weird, manipulative things. That's the right word for her. She's a manipulator. And so anyway, that's all for the thing about Pam.
All right. And was it on ABC? NBC?
Yeah.
NBC. All right.
Dateline. NBC.
All right. So what I have is on Apple TV. It's actually it's on right now. It's only one of, I think it's the 6th episode just came out. And it's called The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray.
Oh, okay.
This has my boy Samuel L. in it.
Samuel.
All right, so Samuel L. Jackson plays Ptolemy, which ends up being an older man who is like senile, has dementia. You also have a young actress, Dominique Fishback. She plays a girl named Robin. You have Walter Goggins, who plays Dr. Reuben, and you know him because he's Uncle Baby Billy from the Righteous Gemstones. Mm-hmm. And then you have Omar Benson Miller, who plays Samuel L. Jackson's nephew Reggie in the movie. Really, it's in the show. It's a good show. I like it. So far, it's so good. I don't know. I feel like it's just going to be like kind of like the thing about Pam or whatever. I feel like it's going to just be like a one season and like one season done. Yeah, one and done. So like I said, Ptolemy is senile. He has dementia. His nephew Reggie comes to his apartment and like helps him out. So he'll take him to the bank. Mm-hmm. He'll take him to do stuff. He'll make sure like he has groceries. But also Ptolemy he has so much stuff. He is a hoarder. Like he has one bedroom that is locked up. Nobody goes in. Like he has a padlock on that thing. Nobody goes in there. This one bedroom. Don't touch it. But then everywhere else is like a maze to walk through the apartment because he has so much stuff. But then it's the stuff that he's accumulated because he's like 90 years old now. So it's 90 years of stuff. So he goes and he takes him to the doctor's office, and this doctor tells Reggie, he was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like your uncle is a perfect candidate for this new medication that they're doing about helping people with dementia, and it would help them like get their memory back and stuff like that." It's like, but there is side effects. So Reggie looks into it. Then something ends up happening to Reggie, and now there's the young girl Robin, which Ptolemy, you call him Ptolemy because his name starts with a P. Which Ptolemy ends up calling her Bird because he was like, "What is your name?" She's like, "Robin." He said, "Okay, young Bird." So then he calls her Bird all the time. So she goes and she comes into his house and she's just like, we ain't having this. And she starts cleaning up stuff. And then she's like, "Don't be throwing away my stuff." She said, "Do you need it?" He's like, "I don't know." She said, "Well, I'm throwing it away." And he loves that she is so stern and just like, "You're doing this."
So that's what they need sometimes.
But his nephew want to do that? No, he's cussing his nephew out. It has to be the woman. It has to be like the woman doing it. It has to be the So So with all of that, now she, like he house is completely like changed up, and as she's like moving and stuff, she was like, "What is this on the TV? You have a doctor's appointment?" He was like, "I don't know. Reggie does my doctor's appointment." They go to the doctor's appointment. They ask questions about like, hey, this is the medication, blah blah blah, and she's looking like he's looking at her like wanting her to go ahead and make decisions for him. And she's like, "Is this what you want?" She's like, "I don't know. I'm just like she's like, I'm just starting to like, help you out around here." So basically, what ends up happening, he starts taking the pill, and he goes from being senile to now before he was like being in present and then seeing the past at the same time. So he would be looking at somebody standing in front of him, but the whole background would be like when he was growing up.
Oh, okay.
So like his brain was like messing with him. So once he started taking the medication, and it was like boom, like he got pep in his step. He's he's like talking to women in the banks, be like, oh, "Okay, Miss RWRING, okay, Miss Ring," and now he got a little girlfriend and everything, so it's good.
He's doing better, yeah.
But then the medication has side effects and starts to wear off, so now he's going and starting to go back into his ways. But the way that the movie is all set up, it's very heartfelt. How
is it a movie or show?
I'm sorry, the show. Okay. It's very heartfelt how Samuel L. Jackson's character and Dominique's character, how they become like best friends. Yeah. But it's kind of like weird because it's weird to where she's like, you know what, if I was an older woman and you were like 30 years younger, because like he's like older, she was like, you know what, she said, I probably would see myself dating a man like you. You know what I'm saying? So, but then she also like treats him like it's her father, her uncle, or something like that. So,
right.
And then he also treats her like it's his daughter, but then also sometimes like treats her like the wife, like, here, take this money, go ahead to the store and go ahead and get you something. Yeah. So, that's very heartfelt how that is. How the family is towards him and everything is very, it's definitely something that happens in the world, how the family is. Sometimes they're there for you, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
Then also the story line that comes in after something happens to Reggie, and then like how all that all plays out. It's really good. And like I said, it's only on the 6th episode. I don't know how many it's going to be total. I'm guessing like 8 or 9. I don't know how many.
Yeah, it's possible.
Apple TV usually does, but it's so far so good. Definitely check it out. Okay. Apple TV. Last Days of Ptolemy Gray.
All right. Thank you. All
right. What you got next?
So my last thing is This Is Us.
Oh, God.
This Is Us.
I ain't trying to cry.
Show.
I ain't trying to cry.
Well, I wanted to talk about it because it's its final season.
This Is Us is like a Keith Sweat album.
Oh, God.
Crying the whole time.
Oh, my gosh. So basically, This Is Us is the story of Jack and Rebecca. And it's Jack is played by Milo Ventimiglia and Rebecca Mandy Moore. And they also have Justin Hartley in it as Kevin, one of their children. Kate is Chrissy Metz, and Sterling K. Brown is Randall. So basically, the story kind of takes place and kind of starts with her being pregnant and having triplets. And so, they go to the hospital, they're going through the whole process. And as the show kind of starts, and if you haven't watched This Is Us, then I don't know how to talk about the show without having some kind of spoilers. But anyway, because it's been around for so long,
I feel like it's not really spoilers.
It's like, but basically, let's just say the show does a lot of time jumping. That's the easiest way to kind of describe it. So for the most part, you're looking at it, and even in the first episode, you're seeing Jack and Rebecca in the hospital having birth, the doctor, all of these things. And then you see all of them all grown up as adults.
Yeah, but you don't even know that it's them.
Yeah, you don't know who's what's going on.
You just see these 3 people that are supposed to be siblings.
Right.
That are adults. And then you see these babies. So you think it's all at the same time.
Right. So you're trying to figure out what's going on. Right. Because you're thinking it's all at the same time and it's not time jumping. So you have her pregnant in the hospital. You have Kevin as the Manny. He's kind of a womanizer a little bit. An actor. So he's the Manny on a TV show of a male nanny. He hates his job, but he loves being an actor and trying to kind of walk that line of being the goofball actor when he really wants to take things more seriously. And then you have the other person you see as an adult is Kate, and Kate is a person who just has issues with food, let's just say. So she is in a weight loss boss meeting program. She actually meets her future husband in that program and her best friend, which funny enough, her best friend is super skinny and is in the program because she also has issues with food.
Yeah, but
hers
opposite
are the opposite, where she doesn't want to eat and is anorexic. So she's in there talking about how skinny she is and how she sees herself as fat, and she's in there with fat people who are like, chick, just stop. Why are you even here? But that ends up being one of her really close best friends. And then you have Sterling K. Brown's character, who is Randall. And Randall is like a person who, I guess it's kind of like no spoilers, but basically when they are pregnant in the hospital, they end up losing one of the babies. And in the process of losing one of the triplets, somebody left a baby at a fire station. Mm-hmm. And that baby who was left at the fire station was Randall. So all this comes out in the first episode. So, I mean, it's been 5 years now or something of the show, so it's no true spoilers. But anyway, so Randall is kind of a person that almost seems like, he's high-strung. He's an overachiever. It makes you wonder if he actually would have always turned out that way, or if he did because of the fact that he knew he was left on a fire station steps. He's now with this white family being adopted, and he almost has to overachieve just to prove that he belongs and deserves to be there almost. So he just is on kind of a little bit of a journey in regards to that, finding out who his real dad is, learning more about his mom throughout the seasons, things of that nature. Katie's journey is more about, discovery with herself, her future husband, how they interact. Are they going to be able to have kids? All of those types of things. And then Kevin's journey, he does end up during the series becoming an alcoholic and having to, go to meetings and deal with that and navigate different things in life. Sometimes he plays the victim. Yeah. And he's always like blaming other people for things that happen to him. But at the same time, and it's probably because he was kind of spoiled a little bit, maybe, I don't know. But he's coming into his own, the older he gets, the wiser he gets, so to speak. But you do have a lot of flashes. You have the forwards and the backwards. So when you're watching the first episode, you have no idea what's going on. And then by the second episode, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. So these are them, older, getting ready to celebrate their birthday. They call themselves the Big Three. So it's Kevin and Kate and Randall as being the siblings that are all born on the same day. So they're all triplets in their minds because of the fact that even though Randall's adopted, they're still born. Yeah,
they're all born on the same day. They're still triplets.
And over the seasons, they do get into race relations and, just how Randall felt like when his brother, who was the football star and all of this, would kind of dismiss him, around his friends, and just different things that would sometimes happen. And how Kate felt about being overweight her whole life, and how her mom was always skinny, and how that relationship had some challenges. Yeah. And they both love to sing, though. So Mandy Moore, of course, is a singer in real life. And then you have where Katie Metz in real life also sings, but she, they both do some singing on the show as well. But every episode has some moment that's so touching that makes you want to cry.
Yeah, I can't. That's why I stopped watching it.
Yeah, and that's the part that gets you.
Every episode.
Like every episode.
The first episode is probably the only episode I didn't cry.
Yeah, the first episode you're like,
yeah. Wait, what? When they light the cigarette, I was like, oh, wait a second.
You can't give that away. You got to watch the episode.
No, I just said light the cigarette. I didn't say everything.
Yeah, you didn't. But yeah, so when you see the very last scenes, you're like, wait a second. Yeah. Something ain't right here. And then you kind of put some things together.
But other than that, always cried.
But
always.
Yeah, it's always emotional. So whether it is, relationships with the brothers and sisters, relationship with the parent, a parent passes away, just different things that all just happen. It's so much. So anyway, and
then the music always gets you.
Yeah, the music starts right at the right moment.
At the right time.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it's a lot. It's a journey for all of them. I like the fact that they take the kids through journeys through their whole lives. So it being babies with the parents, and how the parents handled having triplets, to how they were in kindergarten and going off to school, to middle school, to high school, to college, to being grown adults, to having their own
family
kids.
And stuff like that. Yeah,
every phase, and it's perfect how they pick children to look like them at every phase for the most part.
And I mean, like, how the whole show is set up is amazing. I think the idea is great. I just don't want to cry every time I watch it. That's
and
the
they
only
know,
thing.
but that's what they're doing. Like they're truly trying to pull in the heartstrings.
The whole TV show is a Hallmark card,
right? And that's why I said a Million Little Things is like This Is Us without the crying.
Like, maybe I watched A Million Little Things.
Yeah, A Million Little Things is not as emotional. It will have some emotional elements, but nowhere near this. So anyway, that's what I have. The seasons are ending. This Is Us, and
NBC.
On NBC, and I think everybody will really, if you haven't already watched it, then I think it is something that you can watch.
Yeah, it's binge worthy. It's binge worthy,
like a feel good kind of show. So there you go. Right. Yours.
My last one. It's gonna be quick. It's called The Life of Beth. It is on Hulu.
Life of Beth, Hulu.
I'm sorry, Life and Beth.
Life and Beth.
Okay. I said that wrong. All right, so Beth is going through the motions. Let's just start off with that.
And who is Beth?
Beth is Amy Schumer. And so the cast is Amy Schumer, Michael Cera, Michael Rappaport, and Savannah Ford. So Amy Schumer is Beth. Michael Cera is her love interest, I guess, whose name is John, who I want to say that he's autistic in this. Okay. I feel like he is on this. Then you have Michael Rappaport, who is her deadbeat father. I'm not going to say deadbeat, but he's a drunk. He's an alcoholic.
Okay.
And then you have Savannah Ford, who is her little sister, who is like, they have a pretty decent like age gap, but like, it's a lot that goes into it. So, all right, so Beth's mom dies unexpectedly, and now she's trying to cope with, with that, as well as she's been having flashbacks of her childhood and like how she was raised. So, and then like when her mom like married her dad, who was a drunk, and like that definitely affected her. And then her mom like dating married men, and then that also made a big impact on Beth because of the whole fact that her mom started dating her best friend in middle school or like junior high school's father. Like they were at the family's house together, like all of them together. The mother just shows up at the house and was like, "Can you please stop sleeping with my husband?" That in front of the kids, like that kind of thing. Yeah. So what else happened? Oh, and then she ends up slowly starting to become her mother. But then she doesn't like that. But then it's like the whole flashbacks of her seeing herself in her younger self is because she sees herself doing stuff that she used to see her mother do. And like, that's how she's just like trying to like,
gotcha.
Like she just does, like she doesn't know any better. And then she's kind of like, no, I'm not like that. She's like, oh, wait, am I like that? Like her sister is like, her and her sister saw their childhood totally different. Sister saw it as, oh, this was so much fun. Like, everything was good. But with Amy Schumer Beth being older, she saw it as like from an adult's eyes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like, daddy stumbling over furniture, you thought it was funny. I see that he's drunk. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
So stuff like that, like, oh, we're going to this person's house and this person's like buying us like, oh, we got all these toys and everything. Yeah. This is so great. But actually this is somebody who my mom is sleeping with who also has a family somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So it was like, she could see all that. So now it's like the relationship between the sister and the mother. I mean, the sisters and how like they kind of interact with and how they deal with their mother being gone and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's very, very good, very detailed how the whole life situation and everything is. I definitely like it. I think that it's really good. The whole relationship between her and Michael Cera is kind of, it's awkward, but it makes sense because of the fact that he is like on the spectrum. So then it's like, he's just like, oh yeah, are you going to wear that? Probably shouldn't wear that. No, don't wear that. He's like, oh yeah, probably because your breath stinks. You know, like he's like stern. Gotcha. He just like tells you straight up.
Or like Asperger's or something.
Yeah,
like
something
maybe.
Like that. Yeah.
It's like The Good Doctor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's something like that. But I mean, definitely check it out if you into stuff like that. I mean, it's like funny, but it's serious. Like at one point in time, she gets proposed to by this dude who's just his proposal was mainly all about him.
Wow.
And she was just like, no, just don't. What are you doing? Stop. What was this, a flash mob? Why are you doing a flash mob at my mother's Passover? Not Passover, but my mother's, what is it called? What is it called? Repast.
Oh, and she had died? Oh.
Her mother died. So at my mother's repast, you think that this is now the time for you to go ahead and propose to me?
That is ridiculous.
And he's like, oh yeah, I didn't want you to see this as such a horrible time. I wanted you to see this as like a joyful time.
Yeah, that's about him.
It's all about him, yeah. So I mean, But I think that how the show is it is definitely a cute show to watch. I would definitely watch season 2. It's not going to be my oh my god. It's not my Ptolemy Gray. It's not as good as that.
It's not your Maisie.
It's not. It's definitely not my Maisie. What? Don't talk about Maisie.
Okay,
no, I'm just saying. But yeah, but no, it's not. It is a good show. I do like how the cast is. I do like how everything is put into place. The storytelling and everything. I think it's all good.
Okay.
So yeah.
Great. Well, thanks everyone for joining us this week for Sestra-Tainment. We are going to be back next week, same time, same place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Everybody have a wonderful week. Bye.
Bye.